Welcome, everyone, to the video companion for the Special Chronicles show podcast right here on specialchronicles.com. This is episode 240 with, I guess, Sally from the Special Olympics International office. And if you want to download the audio podcast when you're walking or driving or running or whatever you're doing, then the audio podcast, you can find that on specialchronicles.com or iTunes or Apple Podcasts or wherever you download your podcasts from. And here we go. I'm going to post a code, and then I'll point to you, Sally, and we'll get started.
Cool. Hi, my name is Sally Cohen, and I'm from Washington, D.C., from the Special Olympics International Headquarters. You're listening to the Special Chronicles Show podcast, giving respect and voice to people with special needs.
This is Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.
This episode 240 is brought to you by listeners like you. Please help support us at Special Chronicles with your tax-deductible donation today to help us continue our mission of giving respect and voice to people with special needs. Please go to specialchronicles.com/given. That's specialchronicles.com/given. And we thank you for your generous support of our mission at Special Chronicles. This week on Special Chronicles, we are joined virtually in studio by our friend Sally from the Special Olympics International office, coming up right now on the Special Chronicles show podcast at specialchronicles.com.
I shudder thinking how the world can be so cruel. I lend my voice to those who can't. It's time we tried, it's time we care, it's time we stand. It starts with a voice.
You're listening to the Special Chronicles show podcast. This is a show where podcasts with disability or deaf ability stories from an insider's perspective, and we are giving a voice to people with special needs. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, and welcome back to the Special Chronicles show podcast. My name is Daniel, and I'm your host and founder of Special Chronicles. And this is going to be a little bit shorter of an episode because joining us right now, virtually in studio, is our guest, Sally. She's going to have to tell me how to pronounce her last name, but Sally has a MA from GWU, a BA from UF. She manages the social media at Special Olympics International. She is a general social commentator, a pop cultural consumer, and an everyday sports fan. Welcome to Special Chronicles, Sally. Thanks, Daniel. I'm happy to be here. So this is going to be a little bit of a shorter of an episode because we've had some technical difficulties on in the pre-show. But first, why don't you briefly tell us, introduce yourself to our listeners and what you do at Special Olympics International.
So my name, like you said, it's Sally Cohen. I am originally from Florida. I relocated to DC in 2014 to get that master's from GW. I started working at the Special Olympics headquarters part-time in September of 2015. And then I became full-time in March 2016. I work on our social media here. It's really fun job. I enjoy getting to know the athletes. I hadn't worked at all with Special Olympics and didn't really know much about it or any of the athletes, but now it's become a huge part of my life and I love what I do.
Awesome. So is GU, I was going to say, is that George Mason? Because blinking on his name, who works in your office.
That you're talking about Jerry, who went to George Mason. It's actually George Washington. But they're similar. They're right in the same neighborhood.
Okay. So I first got connected with you a few months ago before World Games in Austria, 2017. But you wrote a few articles in the Playbook on Medium.com on InclusiveHealth and the Soul Hill Day and many other articles for Special Olympics. But can you tell us a little bit about Special Olympics International submission of inclusive health and the importance of inclusive health in Special Olympics and in our mainstream community?
Yeah, sure. So the idea of inclusive health came from the need that our athletes have in regards to their health and fitness. You can't be a top athlete without being fit and healthy. They go hand in hand. And a few years ago, we recognized that some of our athletes aren't getting the best care. and really just figuring out how we can bridge that gap and working with different institutions, opinion leaders, governments to kind of fill that need and make sure that our athletes and the intellectual disability community as a whole are receiving access to healthcare that's just as equal as any other person. And a lot of it has to do with the training of physicians and different health professionals. And that's something that we're working on here every day. We've married it with the concept of sports within the movement. So health and sports are equal to us. And then just really going after that and making sure that becomes a reality.
Awesome. And for those who are listening, Augustus Sally, who manages the social media on Special Olympics International. And if you follow us at Special C Podcast on Instagram, Sally, I just tagged you in our Instagram story.
Awesome.
Today. So tell us, since we only have a few minutes left,
Sure.
We're going to have you back on to talk about
For sure.
the articles that you wrote. Because lots of notes here. But you wrote at the World Games in Austria, they had a dance competition.
Yep.
And I know some people who participated in that, some people from the Seoul Trio. But you wrote an article on April 20. You wrote a piece on April 27th about dancing towards inclusion, how Taylor is inspiring a community. And a friend of our program, Christina Sands, who is one of the stars of the Emmy-winning docuseries Born This Way, who was diagnosed with Down syndrome. Christina does ballroom dancing, and we saw that in season 2 of last year. But so this article, can you briefly tell us about this story that you wrote with Taylor?
Sure.
and the dancing towards inclusion, because it was an awesome piece that you wrote on medium.com.
Thanks. So just to amend that a little bit, I didn't write the piece. I worked with Taylor's father who wrote it. I just published it on behalf of him and his family. So Taylor was the youngest performer at the dance competition, and she just brought so much energy with her. It was incredible. I kind of nerded out like when I was there, and I stopped her to ask her for a picture, just like her dad was saying that in the article that was happening. Totally one of them. She was great, and her little sister Mimi, so cute, just a wonderful supportive family. So after that, when they returned home, there was this awesome video that Taylor's father got where they were invited to the school, and they were told that they were going to celebrate Taylor's trip to Austria. But what it actually ended up being was the entire school lined against all of the walls, just clapping for her, welcoming her back, and just like the true reception of a hero. And it was amazing to see that. That is inclusion. I mean, she's being celebrated as a top tier athlete, which she is, and she will be as she grows older. It's great.
Yeah.
It's great to see.
Awesome. Well, we'll have to have you back on because we're running against the clock. We'll have to have you on again, maybe even later this week if we can find some time. Then I can add that to this episode or add that on to another episode so we can continue this awesome conversation with some more notes that I had here.
Great.
But briefly, any social media plugs for Special Olympics International and for yourself of where people can follow
Sure.
and change the game?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely always stay up to date with Special Olympics by following us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. Username is Special Olympics, pretty easy one to find. If you want to find me on Instagram, my username is SCOHEN 435. That's S Cohen 435. And can't wait to meet you guys and be on again.
Awesome. So we'll excited because we have tons more to talk to you about.
For sure.
About inclusive health and the awesomeness of Special Olympics.
Great.
And so, any final thoughts on your overall time here today on Special Chronicles that you'd like to share with our listeners?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is great. I think it's amazing that you've almost been doing this for 10 years, giving a voice to everyone is just a really amazing thing. I mean, our partnership with ESPN is based on the fact that they're giving a voice to our whole movement, and you doing this on an individual level just brings that message, just hits home. So it's great. Keep doing it.
Awesome. Thanks. Yeah, and it's awesome that we also have a number of contributors. We've got some actually gold medalists and athletes in New York and in other places across the country who are also
Yeah, it's great.
contributing with us too. So awesome. So thanks. I look forward to talking with you again. And again, our guest today on the Special Chronicles Show podcast has been Sally Cohen, who manages social media at Special Olympics International. Thank you again, Sally, for taking the time to come on the.
Thanks, Daniel. All right.
Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.
Awesome. That concludes our video companion. And hopefully we can have Sally on again. So thanks everyone. Stay tuned to the audio podcast on specialchronicles.com.